Hi everyone, welcome back to another video, and this is for Anything But a Card Challenge Blog, challenge number 38, and the theme for August is Zentangling. And I've been taking the soul food class through Community Thrive since the beginning of the year, and one of the lessons was taught by Dana, and she showed how to do her faces, and it's very easy, though her faces are way better than mine. But anyway, I decided to do that for this challenge, and instead of coloring her hair, I decided to Zentangle her hair. And I first drew the face on graph paper. I have a comp book that is all graph paper, so it's easy to do the eyes and stuff, even though I'm still not happy with them. And then I took the page out of the comp book and copied it onto computer paper with printer, and then I traced it onto computer paper through a light box. I did tweak the eyes a little bit to try to get them the same size and shape, but that didn't work too well. And also I fixed up the lips, and then I colored her skin with the Derwent 24 Studio pencil set, and I used the rose pink, which is this one right here. Maybe it will focus. And then it's so light in color, I ended up using the Faber-Castell watercolor crayon in peach, and I also did her lips in the red violet watercolor crayon and her eyes in blue. And then I did take a water brush to blend it out, and it did wrinkle the paper because it is computer paper and it's thin, but it didn't do too bad, especially after I glued it onto the page. So then after that I did shade a little bit with, again, the rose pink, and I also used the brown ochre color pencil. And I also used the black, ivory black, for her eyes and the nose. So after I did all that and everything was dried, I took my micron pens, and two of them, I used the 01 in the black and the 05 in the purple. And a lot of the Zentangles are from the book One Zentangle a Day, and online, and also another Zentangle book that I can't think off the top of my head, but once I'll remember, I'll put it in the description below. And I didn't do too bad of a job if you don't look too closely. So after I did that, I cut it out, and then I didn't know what to do after that. Oh, I also did her eyebrows as well. So I ended up putting her in my documented life for the week of July 23rd, and the prompt for that week was use a line from your favorite book. So after thinking what I wanted to do for the background, I ended up using the stencil that my friend Julia cut for me, and I wanted to play with the Viva Decor Feral Special Effects paste and the graphite, and it's really sparkly. I don't know if you can tell. So I did it, I took a palette knife and used it on the stencil, like, not the whole page, because this is, you can see, is flat. I only did it like around, because I knew where the face was going to be, so I did it around there. And it didn't take too long to dry, but I still left it overnight before finishing. And then once it was dried, the next day I glued her onto the page with Aleene's Tacky Glue. And then I went to find a quote. At first I was going to use Dr. Seuss, and then I didn't feel like using him. I actually started looking at shelfarea.com. I have my list of books that I've read and want to read and all that. Well, I have my list on Goodreads.com as well, but I went to shelfarea.com because sometimes they have quotes from books that people edit. And of course, all the books that I liked, that I clicked on to see if there's a quote, there wasn't any. So I went to braindery.com, and then I went to Dr. Seuss, decided not to use him, and then I decided to use Anne Frank. And this is the quote I picked out. Everyone has inside of him a piece of good news. The good news is that you don't know how great you can be, how much you can love, what you can accomplish, and what your potential is. And I printed that quote on Word. Well, I don't have Microsoft Word on my computer, but I use WordPad, and the font I used was Dean Martin. And I think the font size was 22. And I cut the words, as you can see, and I glued it with Aleene's Tacky. And then I forgot to type her name, so I just wrote it on a piece of scrap and glued it on as well. And there you go. Quick and easy. So be sure to go to Anything But a Card challenge blog to see what the rest of the designers are doing for this week's prompt and play along. So thanks for watching.